Ja hoor.
Oh, no. God, no.
Hey guys, welcome to Dan and Liz, or Liz and Dan, review the A, B, C, D, E, F, G's of death. Welcome guys to our review of the ABCs of Death. Yeah, ABC's Death.
It's a Netflix thing.
It was on Netflix. And it's essentially a series of short films. It's
like
26.
VHS.
Yeah, it is like VHS, just they don't try to string it together by any sort of loose story. It's all just short, as opposed to, you know, the weird room with the dead guy and the VHS and the weird haunting, whatever the fuck's going on in that house. But
I don't remember what's in that, but yeah.
Yeah, weird. But yeah, so this is 26 like in a row short films, all involving death. Hence the ABCs of Death.
And they're all alphabetical, obviously.
Yes, they're in order. It's, I think, a fun little game to play, and what we did both times we've watched it, we've seen it twice at this point.
Yeah.
Both times we watched it, we were trying to guess, because we knew which letter the short was, so we had to try to guess the title. Sometimes it was really obvious, other times it was completely out of the, like, nowhere to be found.
There's
reason.
a lot of them in there where you're just going, why the fuck did you name it that? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I agree with you, Officer Liz. You're going to jail.
I can't do this with a straight face at this point. I'm going to take these off now because I want to see.
Can I put those on and look even dumber?
You're going to have them on the entire thing?
No.
Okay, good. So A was Apocalypse, which I didn't catch the first time.
I guessed it.
I couldn't watch it for the first, like, 5 minutes of that.
Yeah. I think that's the only one like I got. Oh yeah. See,
That's why I couldn't do it.
I thought it was a really like cool way to start off. I liked the idea of that one, and I liked the violence in it too because it got like gruesome with that the hand chopping like right off at the bat, and then the fucking oil in his face.
She's just the thing is the way she goes about it is she's just so like brutal. She's like, I've been doing this for years, and you're not dead, so you need to die like today. Today is the day. You need to die.
Tonight's the night. But it's so like. Because it's funny, she goes in
so
there,
brutal about it.
And like he has his food tray, and then she just comes in with a knife, and she starts swinging at him, but she misses the first couple times, and he's just like, like he tries to stop it, but man, you left the room the second time we watched it.
I knew.
And when it happened, I forgot the hand thing. I remembered the boiling water.
And I hear him go, oh, and I'm just like not helping.
I was just like, oh man, because that's like brutal.
It's fucking gross, and then his hand's all gnarled.
Yeah, the rest of the time.
Yeah, and then B was Bigfoot, which made no sense to me, because this is a kid going to bed. She wants to, I think there was a babysitter. It was an uncle, right? Her uncle was
yeah, her brother or something like that.
It was an uncle, I think. And he was with his girlfriend. They wanted to get it on, you know, whatever, good for you. And they start telling her this, like, awful story about an abominable snowman that kills children if they don't sleep, which I don't know why you'd go to sleep after that anyway. Mm-hmm. And then there's a trash man that goes and, like, fucking kills these people, but I'm like, where's the Bigfoot? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
They never even say Bigfoot in the thing. They say,
I say abominable snowman, which I guess is the same title, but...
Lightning.
I didn't see it. I was paying attention. It's storming, by the way.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
It wasn't that good either.
Yeah.
It was just random. C was Cycle.
Yeah.
I did not care for that at all.
Yeah.
I thought it was stupid.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting enough.
No.
The logic of it didn't make much sense to me, but like it was an interesting idea, but it didn't make sense completely. Unless the guy at the end was breaking the cycle, in which case I don't know how he did that.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It had an Alice in Wonderland element to it, and in the we watched everything with subtitles, and in the actual short, the lady was saying Bruno and he was saying Alicia, but the subtitle said Bruce and Alice.
Yeah.
So we were assuming it maybe was like an Alice in Wonderland thing, but it's Bruno.
It sounded a lot. It seemed like a lot of Alice in Wonderland because there's a hole that
There's
he goes
a hole
in,
that he falls in.
and all of a sudden it's like a vacuum for some reason. Sucks him right in.
there? Oh!
Okay, so D was Dogfight, which I still was not a huge fan of because it was all in slow motion. It was.
Yeah.
I mean, the way it ends is it makes sense, but it's just like. Why do I want to watch 5 minutes of a guy punching a dog? I don't
that's
care.
true. I liked the way it ends. Like I really liked the kind of twist.
And the dog tag that he's wearing and things like that.
Yeah, I liked how it all came together. But yeah, like 4 minutes of slow-mo dog fighting is
so pointless.
Man fighting dog.
And I was just sitting there like, I'm so bored.
And I don't even get how that makes sense exactly because couldn't he have just like from the start of the fight just like looked at the dog and be like, yeah, let's kick some ass, as opposed to fighting the dog for a good little bit and then, unless the dog was like reprogrammed to fight and then it remembered.
Kick some ass.
Because he was there to get his dog back.
Yeah, but I mean.
But he fights the dog for the first couple minutes.
It makes it seem like he doesn't realize it's his dog.
I think he obviously knows it's his dog. Maybe the dog is like programmed to fight at that point
So he's a
and
robo
forgets.
dog?
No, I'm just saying like. Just like the dog is retrained to fight. I don't know. But I was saying it didn't make much sense to me.
The whole story didn't make any sense.
Well, it made sense to me.
Towards the back end, it's like, oh, okay, but the rest of it's just like, why fight the dog? Like, I don't, alright, whatever. E was what I couldn't watch because I hate spiders. And
I like your note.
Yeah. Ew, gross.
Ew. Exterminate.
Yeah.
It was about a spider.
This is a smart ass spider too. Like this little shit was, oh god.
It got its comeuppance eventually though. Oh. But then it had a little bit of revenge.
All I'm gonna say, and if I don't know about the age group here, but if you guys read the books, the series, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, there's a story about a girl who has a boil on her face that spiders come out of eventually. This is kind of like that story. So if you've read that story, you kind of guess what happens at the end of this one. Alright, so F was a what the fuck moment.
This was the most one of the most ridiculous ones in there.
This was like, to me it seemed like a really amateur like porno. I don't know why.
It was like a weird fetish softcore porn.
Like it was weird.
It was very. I remember the first time we watched it because it starts off mildly serious, like the way she's talking. Well, she's talking about how God, like she's talking about like how women can't.
The first time it starts off, she blows a fart out of her ass, and then she goes,
well,
my teacher.
That's the point where I was just like, what the fuck, like.
That's before the talks about God, though. That was like, wait.
No. She starts off talking about like.
I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, she starts off talking seriously at least, and it's just like. Okay, it's a Japanese one, and then.
By the way, it's her F for fart, so
yeah.
I forgot about that.
Sailor Moon.
Yeah, she was dressed in Sailor Moon outfit with but the back end of that was just fucking retarded. Oh my god.
That was so weird. Just like
I don't want to die this way, but I'll die over here.
I don't want to die by God's fart. I want to die by your fart.
And she goes, okay.
It smells so stinky. It's like, so weird.
The thing is just it's one of those things you just look at it and laugh because it's just like how the fuck do you come up with this?
So ridiculous.
And it was just so gross and just like G was Gravity, which made no sense to me.
I think that was the most pointless one out of all of them.
Is a guy has like this helmet on, I think.
It's kind of like a GoPro on his head.
Yeah. And he's got the camera and he's got his surfboard and he's got his stuff and he's going swimming. And
they spend a lot of time setting up him driving up, grabbing his board, going out to the beach, getting in the water, looking for a wave. And
then all of a sudden like he goes under and I don't know if he tipped or if he just fell into the water. I can't, because he never stood up on the board, so he never caught a wave.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're just sitting there in the water, and this black like cloud on one side is just like consuming the ocean. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And that's over. I'm like,
I think it was just
gravity.
I think it was just undertow because like they show his board and it's like standing straight up in the water, being kind of tugged.
Yeah, but it had stuff on it though. That's the thing. It had stuff on it before it did. It didn't have anything, and now it had like barnacles and black goo all over it. I'm like, what? What? I don't get it.
Yeah, it was just pointless because there was a lot of setup and then he just drowns and it's over.
They couldn't come up with anything good for G apparently. H wasn't any better.
Oh, what is that?
Hydroelectric Electric Diffusion. Don't even ask where that name came from because I have no fucking clue.
It's like a weird furry cartoon live action.
It's a furry's fetish is what it is.
It's really weird.
It's a fox who is a Nazi. Okay.
Our recording there's lightning. Our recording cut off. So we were talking about there's the Nazi fox and an English bulldog.
Yes.
And it's set in this weird burlesque strip club in like the 40s, seemingly.
It seems a lot like a Jessica Rabbit kind of thing, where she's on stage. You watched Roger Rabbit, right? Yeah. The Jessica Rabbit, and he's sitting. Oh, okay.
Ooh, intense lightning.
Woohoo. She's, seducing all these men. They're in this, like, bar kind of thing. That's the setup for it. And then it just gets weirder and weirder as it goes on, because she's touching and...
She takes off her little thing and she has her fox boobs.
The really lopsided tits that they didn't even bother with.
They look kind of in too far, too. It looks really weird.
They're tiny and
I don't know what the deal with that was. But yeah, it was just really, really weird and cartoony, and like she tries to kill him and...
She zaps him, busts his balls out of his mouth, which makes total sense, because if you hit a guy in the balls, they're coming right out of his fucking mouth. Yeah,
like his eyes come out of his sockets, and he floats like across different tape. Yeah, it was like The Mask.
No, well like where he does the wolf howl, it was something like that, yeah. Ingrown, which was there was not a whole lot of setup to it.
A lot of narration, setting it up. And it was
but it wasn't a narration of actually setting anything up. She was just talking.
Yeah.
About.
She half explained a lot of things. She never explained why she was there. She just said that she wasn't an intruder, and I guess like you were thinking she must have been familiar with the guy who was holding her in the tub.
That's the only thing I could come up with.
She was being held hostage, and she was beaten up, and
she was pretty bloody when they first started this thing. So she'd been there a while. It seemed like. And he had a gas can in one hand and a needle in the other. Alright.
More lightning. Sorry, we got distracted.
And he already had the needle syringe full of gasoline that he shoved into her neck, and then she started scratching at her skin, which he was grossing out about. I was like, it's nasty, but that sounds, I think, maybe is what it was, but... And then she dies. That's it. He kind of did it and then looked like he felt bad after he did it, really.
Yeah.
He was just like, oh shit, oops. And then he ran and then she...
Oops, I injected you with gasoline.
My bad! It slipped.
Yeah.
Alright. J is in another language, so I'm not going to say it. It's called Samurai Movie.
Yeah, that's what it translates to.
Yeah, I'm not saying it.
Jidal-goki, I don't know what that says.
It's a D. Jidal.
Yeah, I said Jidal.
Okay, I doubt that's how you say it. But I don't care. Anyway, it was weird. It was just as weird, honestly, as probably hydroelectric.
It was weird and cartoony. It was one of those things where, the guy was making a face, he was going...
it was over-exaggerated.
So that they had, a weird mask makeup thing where his face was, really tiny.
I'm sure you'll show a picture of it.
And his noses were... It looked really weird. I could put a picture in there of their face.
So they could
take a screenshot off Netflix. It was just really kind of what the hell is this? Because it didn't really make sense. The guy looked like he was about to kill the guy who was laughing, but then the guy who was laughing was killing himself, and then the other guy was just I don't fucking have anything to do. Starts laughing.
Well, no, he chopped his head off. I mean, he still killed the guy. It's just... Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And his eyes were crossed and everything like that when he was already dead.
Yeah.
Which, the face and the brain still moves around long enough for that. But the thing is that, he finally does it, and then he starts giggling about it because the face is just too damn hilarious for him. I'm like, alright, bye?
You have to be serious to be a samurai.
K was for Kutz, and it starts with a K, so it's...
This is a funny one.
This one was weird. It was French. It was a French film.
Animated.
On this one. Animated. And this girl goes to the bathroom. She's at a party, and she takes the most massive shit. Which the thing is the way she's pushing this crap out. It's this fucking big coming out of her ass, but she's just really ramming it out. And I'm like, all right, good for you. I don't look like that, but sure. And those are the faces I make. But the thing is then all of a sudden this poop has a mind of his own. It's like Mr. Hanky, the Christmas
Except for he doesn't talk and he's just...
He squeaks a lot.
Sounds like a baby.
Yeah. And she dies obviously at the end, but the way she dies is like by far the most disgusting thing.
I was laughing.
Well, it's funny, but then it's gross when it's coming out of her mouth. That's my problem.
So funny. So weird and funny. That was a really random one. It was kind of long.
It went on for a little.
They found a lot of things to do with the poop running around and her trying to get it in the toilet.
Like she grabbed the entire roll of toilet paper. It was like a massive mound of it, and I'm like, you're gonna clog the toilet, and then she did, but it went too long with the poo.
Yeah.
Way too long. So L was libido.
Now
this one.
Starring Asian Johnny Depp.
God, shut up. It's not true.
It kind of looks like Asian Johnny Depp.
No, it doesn't. I'm sure you'll show a picture.
Yeah, people will see in the comments.
Yeah,
they'll let us know
the comments
if they agree with me or not.
Yeah, that's right. Is that these two guys? It's random. It's like a game. It seems like who can jack off the quickest and come the fastest. Like that makes sense.
To progressively more fucked up shit.
Exactly. And the thing is like. He's constantly winning because he's got a woman sitting onto his left.
Yeah, she's like
who is hot as hell for him. So he's like, fuck yeah, like I can do this all day. And these other guys are getting, their asses rammed by a big metal rod that has barbs on it, and then it twists into their ass.
Whoever doesn't come the fastest gets killed by that lady.
Yeah, and she just pushes the button, and then he's like, oh no, I can do this better. Nope, you're dead. All right.
Yeah. So,
moving on.
So things just get progressively, like at first it starts off kind of alright. It's like this naked lady with face paint, and she's just standing there. And then
the girl's like dancing, and she's a little chunkier, but whatever.
And then they have like a lady in a wheelchair who has an amputated leg who starts fucking herself with her leg, and it's just like
that was so wrong.
And like it's even more wrong. It gets to Uncle Tommy level eventually.
Well, yes, unfortunately it does, but because the thing is after the woman with the leg, she tries to kill the guy that's sitting to his right, but it fucks her over, and her eye gets all like wonky and disgusting because it like went through her fucking face.
The rod goes through the fucking dude's head.
Because she was trying to get it to work, and she kept
working.
kicking it and things like that. And she dies. And then you got a guy now sitting over there he was a little more feminine looking guy, but he's a guy. And this guy's like, well fuck, I can't jack off to any of this now. And you got the guy from VHS 2, if you've seen that.
He was in the one where they were, I can't remember what.
It was like the cult thing.
Yeah, the cult thing. He was the head of the cult.
Yeah. Which was weird.
Yeah.
But anyway.
He's crazy looking in both of them.
He was crazy son of a bitch in this one. But it gets to the point where you have a little boy sitting on a bed and a really fat Asian guy walking out.
Asian Uncle Tommy.
And you can guess where it goes from there. And this guy sitting next to him is just like, this is awesome! Like, this is my shit, man! He's like going at it and watching this guy too. He's like looking at the guy sitting next to him. He's like got the crazy eyes and all this shit. I'm like,
poor Asian Johnny Depp had no chance.
But, so that was L for libido. M was miscarriage. This one was a little random.
Yeah, it was really short too.
Yeah, it was extremely short. She has a miscarriage. Obviously.
It's like the reveal at the end. Like, at first it starts off, she's just on a toilet and it's stopped up and she needs to go get a plunger.
She's standing in front of the toilet, but I'm sitting there, like, the first thing that came to my mind was the way it was, like, even if it was set up that way, I was like, okay, I thought it was miscarriage at first, anyway, because it was a female and she was just looking at, like, trying to flush it down, get rid of it kind of thing. It's like, okay, well, and then she's running around for, 5 minutes looking for a fucking plunger that she should have had in the bathroom already?
That's what I was saying. Like, that shit would have been like 5 seconds if she already had the plunger there.
But she had to go looking for it. And then they, zoom in and, it's miscarriage. But, I guess, whatever. N was nuptials.
That one was funny.
The bird was my favorite.
That bird.
The guy bought a lovebird, and I guess he had it for a day, which doesn't make sense, but whatever. He says he had it for a day. There's a rainbow. It was a little...
I see it.
Yeah. Alright. Anyway. But, what was it? He had this bird, he taught it to talk, parrot, I should say, And he was trying to get it to like propose to his girlfriend because he loves her so much.
Who was being kind of crabby.
She was being bitchy as
Yeah.
shit. Like, oh,
She's like, who gives a shit about a bird and stuff like that? He's like,
well, that
it
and
can
like
twirl and talk.
He taught it to say like she's beautiful, and she goes, oh, I can hear that any day. Like, I already know I'm pretty, and it's like, wow, okay, conceited much. And then gives her the ring, and she's all happy, and it's so cute. And then the bird fucking ruins everything because he was in the same room. This guy was having sex with another girl named Joy, and this bird just goes fucking berserk with like the orgasm sounds. Like that was just that threw me off with the sounds that bird was making.
Yeah, the night before he must have been a bit cheatery. And with the bird around there. Cheatery.
Cheatery. Oh, I thought you said something else.
Chitorious.
She pretty much kind of was like, who's Joy? And then she grabs a knife and she's like, son of a bitch. And then just...
And then there's like 5 minutes of just blood splattering on the camera.
Watery ass blood on the screen for a good 5 minutes. So I was like, alright, whatever. It was Orgasm.
Oh yeah, that was more of an experimental one where it's like a bunch of weird surreal imagery where it's like representing an orgasm.
Apparently, when you're having one, you have bubbles come out of your mouth now.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a bit of sadomasochism going on
There's
there, too.
There's a lot of sadomasochism in that.
Because that's what the death involves.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Spoiler, somebody dies in it.
Oh my god, everybody dies in these. Since it's called death.
Yeah.
Anyway, P was pressure. Now, I didn't like this one at all because I don't like watching animals die.
Oh, okay. I was thinking about that one.
I fucking hate watching people kill animals in any movie, whether it's a joke or not. It's not funny. Yeah. It starts with this woman. She's trying to, like, I understand the concept of her trying to do things to make her family, like, life better, making some money, somehow, some way, she's got to make the money.
Yeah,
I think this took place, it looked like it was, like, Thailand or Bangkok or something.
Like that. She was like a hooker.
Yeah, and it gets progressively more and more fucked up, and I can't remember, because I didn't want to watch it again, because there was no way I wanted to see her kill I think it was a kitten, and she's...
Something like that, or a dog.
I think it was a cat.
I don't know.
It was an animal.
We ended up skipping it this time because we already saw it before.
It was a small baby animal, and she steps on his head, and I just couldn't fucking do it. Yeah. And it's the pressure of trying to get a better life, but I just didn't like the. Yeah.
She turned down the guy who wanted to do that like repeatedly because he was trying to get different hookers to do it.
Yeah.
I guess because it's a fetish for him, but like she turns him down repeatedly, but eventually she gets desperate to the point where she has to do it. So she's pressured.
Yeah,
but yeah. So that's that one. We weren't crazy about it, but.
So Q is for quack. This one, the way it starts out is just like they can't figure out what the fuck to do.
Yeah, I think this was the first one that acknowledged that it was a short in the movie.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, we got stuck with Q, what the fuck can we do with Q? This is crap!
I liked the guy who was like, what are they, like, they really hate us. It's like, even in the press release, I was mentioned last for the ABC's of
As the other guy's doing cocaine on a fucking mic.
Yeah. That was funny. The director guy was, he was in VHS 2.
He was also in VHS 2, and he was in the first part of VHS
Robot
2.
Eye. He was the Robot Eye guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're trying to figure out what to do with Q, and they end up getting a duck because it quacks, and they're gonna kill the duck.
They called it Mr. Quack.
Mr. Quacks or something like that.
Remember.
Yeah.
Something stupid.
And like Juan the camera or the boom pole guy. But like their idea is to kill a duck for real on camera
with a gun.
With a gun,
obviously.
And they've never really shot anything, so they don't really want to do it. And the one guy ends up fucking having safety on, and they end up shooting each other. And then Juan runs off in the desert like
still got the boom mic
with the duck leaving. Like Mr. Quack's just sitting there in the desert
in the cage. Yeah.
Who will inevitably die anyway.
Well, yeah.
Or Mr. Quacks.
Pretty much. But I just like the way that guy reacts. He's like, I know this is my short, so can you kill the duck for me?
Yeah, he's like,
I don't really want to do it.
The guy's like, yeah, I guess. Like,
sure, and then he's like, well, fuck, I can't do it.
I like when somebody's checking a safety, like if I were like this, like, oh man, the safety isn't working, like pointing it towards you, trying to get, oh fuck.
If you're pointing it towards me, I'd probably move at that point, so you can fix it over there.
Yeah.
Away from me.
Yeah.
But, so that was Q. R was removed, which was the guy, whatever stupid thing you thought it was, but...
Oh, yeah.
They kept taking skin grafts from this guy. They never really explained why, and he's got film in his skin, which makes no sense to me. It's just really gross.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
Yeah.
And then he goes fucking berserk because he's tired of this shit. And they have one scene I remember that he's in a cage, and these people just start licking him. Now, why? I have no idea. Because, ew.
Yeah, and people are like taking pictures and like obsessing over it.
And he gets really fucking tired of it, and so he goes and kills people, and he goes on kind of a rampage a little bit, and then he died by a train. Like, not got hit by it, but he pushed it, and then he laid underneath it, and he died.
Yeah. I mean, here's my take on it, and she doesn't agree.
I don't care.
But, like... Well, it just seemed to me like they start off showing the footage of, it was like really early footage.
It was the very first kind of like movie.
Yeah, so that's why it kind of made sense to me, was because, yeah, it was the train coming towards the camera. People like in the theaters back then thought it was like, oh god, we're gonna die, there's a train.
They really did legitimately think they were going to get killed by a train, and they ran out of the theater and like, no.
So, I mean, it seemed like, to me, like the guy who was being stripped with the film in it and stuff like that was the representation of cinema, of movies. And, you know, it starts off him watching the birth of cinema with the train and everything like that. And at this point in time, a lot of people kind of feel that movies and cinema at this point is being kind of like bastardized and like, you know, raped or whatever. Like, you know, at this point they're beating a dead horse and shit like that. They're remaking stuff.
Yes.
They're making a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's the idea is, to me, is that, you know, there are people obsessing and, like, licking him and obsessing over him and, like, movies, blah, blah, blah. They're making this gigantic thing, but at the same time, they're destroying it. And so at the end, he escapes, he kills the people.
He goes back to the same train.
He goes back to a train, and, like, it's almost like he's trying to go back to where it all began, but he ends up dying there. Like, it all seemed really, like, it actually seemed really cool to me, the way it all plays out. So that's just kind of,
I just thought it was gross.
Yeah, it is gross.
It's fucking wrong.
That's just kind of the way I saw it, and I thought it was pretty neat. But.
I guess. So we're on S, which was Speed.
Now this is a movie starring Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock, where they're on a bus and it can't go under 60 miles per hour. It was a long short. It was about 2 hours long.
I've never seen Speed, the one he's talking about.
You've never seen Speed?
No. There's a reason. Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves.
The bus can't stop!
Wait. That sounds like Nicolas Cage. I think he just did Nicolas Cage.
The bus can't stop. That's Keanu.
I don't know what he sounds like.
Anyway, Speed was
pretty much, it looked like it was trying to be a representation of what people experience when they're on speed, because the back end of this, they're doing speed.
Oh yeah.
So it's like a representation of what they're going through in their heads. Which still doesn't make any sense because it was really fucking annoying and stupid and
it was really cheesy and bad, yeah.
It was just not even remote. It was like...
Acting was bad and...
It kind of reminded me of Bunny Metal.
Bunny Man, yeah. Bunny
Towards
Man.
the back end of it where they're like trying to be all cool and shit. And it's like, no. Good try though. Anyway. This next one, it's...
I like this one. Another anime one.
When I first saw it, it was funny as shit. The second time, I was distracted.
Yeah.
But the first time we saw it, I thought it was the most fucked up thing for this
so
child
ironic, like...
to go through, but it was T for toilet. This kid, he's pretty much, it's like, you know, you graduate a kid from the little, I don't know what the hell you call it.
Potty training?
Yeah, I guess.
Just like one of those.
The normal ones where you can just dump the poo after he's done because that's how you potty train the child. And then he moves up to the normal, everybody uses this toilet type of thing.
Yeah.
And problem is this, the husband and the wife are standing in there, this kid's like terrified of the toilet, which any kid at what, probably he's like fucking 8, 6 maybe, I don't know how old he is.
Yeah.
He's young.
Yeah.
He's terrified. And so, you know, the dad is talking about this story about this guy who got killed on the toilet. Like, he died after he shit or something. I don't remember the full story. And then all of a sudden, This kid goes to the bathroom. He runs away from the bathroom with his little, like, claymation ass. Like, it looks fucking retarded. And then this toilet comes to life and starts killing his family.
Yeah. Well, it's like, it's a bad dream at first.
Well, it is what it is. Well, it's what it is in the back end.
The back end, yeah.
It's a bad dream of this kid seeing his family die, but it's just the way that they die is just so disgustingly brutal. It's awful. Like, his mom gets... I think her jaw, half of her face, like, gets sizzled off, and she's like, with her tongue dangling and shit.
At the end, doesn't the kid get killed?
He...
Like something comes undone and he gets crushed or something like that. And the dad's like, because the kid's like, you know, oh, I'm so scared, and the dad's like, oh, it's fine, and like he goes to do it.
Yeah, he finally goes to the bathroom by himself because he has to go after the bad dream, and he's just like, he goes to the bathroom and he's fine, and then he slipped after I think he got off the toilet and his head got stuck in between like the lid and the toilet, and his dad comes in because his dad's like, oh, he's gonna do it himself, blah, blah, blah. And his dad just starts cracking up because he's laughing and this kid's crying on the toilet, terrified, and all of a sudden the top part of it, because it's situated differently than our toilets, because I think it was because it was in Australia, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
Or it's just a different type of toilet, I don't know, doesn't matter. But the top of it, where all the water resides, comes unscrewed and it squashes the kid right on the head, and the dad just freaks out at that point, and that's where it ends.
This is all like claymation, by the way. It wasn't all like real people.
No.
But it was funny. God.
And then it pans back over to the thing that they threw away at the beginning, which was the potty training.
That was red. That was red.
Yeah.
A lot of these ended with like
red.
On red something, so it could fade out to the red.
To the blood. Yeah. So there was that one. You was unearthed. Now, unearthed...
It's like a vampire one.
I couldn't tell you what the hell this thing really was.
It was all point of view. It was all from the point of view of the monster or whatever it is. But
it seemed like it was a zombie at first. First I thought it was a zombie, then I thought it was possessed, like a possession. And then they start stabbing him with a stake through the heart. And
they also pull out fangs.
Okay, so then it's a vampire.
Yeah. Because they talked about, like, it was village people chasing that thing, like, trying to find him, and then at the end they're like, they're about to kill him. After they pull out the teeth, they're like, you know, don't worry, we won't let your children know, or something like that. So maybe it was somebody who got turned. I don't fucking know.
It doesn't set anything up. It just throws you.
Yeah, they spike his heart, and then they
cut off his head. Yeah.
And then like it's from the perspective of the head looking down at the body and stuff like that.
That's where it
is. That's it. So
it's weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
V was another different language.
V for Vendetta.
No. But it was called The Cry of the Newborn Baby. And I'm trying to remember. It was... Okay, I remember. This is the
Vagitus.
one... The one with all of the...
Oh, the robots and shit.
Yeah.
That was like a weird sci-fi future thing.
Where it was supposed to be like these three people have this parasite that they can like do the change of the mind thing.
Yeah, it was kind of like telekinesis, mind control shit, because they had like an exposed brain or whatever.
It was whatever it was. And...
It's in a future where you have to have a permit to have a baby or something like that.
And then it comes out that the woman who's the lead in this comes back and she's like, oh, that's why I joined. I want to, be able to help and still get my permit this way. But he goes, well, unfortunately you could get it, but biologically she's infertile, so it doesn't help anyway. It doesn't matter. She can't have kids. So it's like, okay, well, and the fucking robot bites off a baby's head. And the baby is still alive because... It's the
oracle or the prophet.
It's the prophet, and he is the prophet, and then the world is... And everyone's heads explode.
Yeah.
I just didn't... It was not good.
Yeah, it was rather disinteresting. Very action-y. Probably action-ish of a lot of lens flares. A lot of edited in lens flares.
Something that Jordan would love, the lens flares, I'm
so many lens flares that were edited into that.
Well, it kind of... When the way it started... I haven't seen this movie, but I've seen it on your shelf back there. Mm-hmm. It's called Iron Sky. Mm-hmm. It looked a lot like that, like with the title coming in kind of thing like that. Mm-hmm. The whole futuristic crap. Yeah. That's what it looked. I've never seen that, but I've seen the cover enough to be like, oh, that's what it looks like.
I still haven't seen Iron Sky yet.
I never heard anything about it, so I don't know.
It's on Netflix, actually.
I know. I keep skipping over it. So that was V. W was a pretty much what the fuck, because they couldn't figure out what the fuck they wanted to do with the movie, so they just threw a ton of shit. It was like Adult Swim times 15 on LSD.
It was the guys
It was
who
so
do,
bad.
It was like one of the animation guys who do, what's it called? The show you like.
Metalocalypse?
Yes.
Oh no.
I looked it up the first time.
Oh no, that's why it was
said,
so weird.
You said it kind of looked like Metalocalypse or something like, or I
Yeah.
thought that, and I looked it up, and he's in the animation department, the guy who directed it.
The animation part of it is Metalocalypse.
Yeah.
It's obvious. It's just the way it's shot.
Rough.
Yeah.
Devil
But the
shit.
thing is that it was just a bunch of shit stuck together, and it was really fucking annoying because we watched it all the way through the first time, but the second time I was like, I'm fucking done. Like,
Yeah, we just fast forwarded
I
at that
don't need
point.
to see a walrus laser beaming everybody in
Like
the
a
world.
scantily clad woman running around doing random shit.
Oh my god.
Hey, I'm a warrior. But, yeah, it was weird.
It was just called What the Fuck, and that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
X
Oh, yeah.
was called XXL because it was another French one.
Yeah. It was directed by the guy who directed the Hitman movie that I really liked, so I was surprised to see that. But,
Haven't seen Hitman. So, there's that.
Yes.
But
fun fact.
now you know. But
It's Mike's Super Short Show.
no.
Liz and Dan reviews, not Mike's Super Short Show. Anyway, extra, extra large.
XXL. This woman, obviously she's a big girl. She's not that bad actually for her size. I mean, really, I just didn't think it was that big of a deal.
She wasn't like, oh, you're so fat. But
She
everybody's
wasn't-
like that.
I don't know if I should say this, but she wasn't Honey Boo Boo's mom big. Is that bad? I mean, is that a bad thing to say? It's true. I mean, she could see with her eyes. Sorry. Anyway, but the woman, she's pretty much like going home and she gets on the subway and all this kind of stuff and the guy's like, ew, like this fat person sitting next to me, like why the fuck?
I don't have any room because a fat person sitting next to
And,
me. I'm gonna move.
Like, when I first saw this, it just made me feel really bad because this is the way some people are actually treated in the real world, and it's
Yeah.
really fucking depressing that people would be this fucking rude about it.
I think this is a bit of an extreme, but at the same time, it's not like it doesn't happen. People are just being outrageous assholes to her and have no regard to her feelings.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Is like, most people, I think, would be... I don't know, I'm not going to say all people would do this, but some people would be more subtle about it if they really didn't want to be around somebody.
Yeah.
They would just walk away.
Generally,
They're
you would
not
have to
going
do
to
something to piss
say...
them off.
They're not going to like, call you a walrus to your face. Like, that's just not going to happen. But they're trying to overtop show that this world is like, skinny people are amazing, fat people need to become this or die.
Yeah,
Kind of
it's
thing.
all about
Like,
perceived body image,
Pretty
what's
much.
beautiful, blah, blah, blah.
media, what the media says is good, what media, wants you to look like, kind of shit.
Yeah.
And she comes home, turns on the TV after she's been bashed all the way home, pretty much.
Yeah.
And she turns it on, and it's these skinny people talking about, well, I eat cereal, and blah, blah, blah.
It keeps me thin and doesn't have any fur. That doesn't happen, but it should.
Okay.
So this lady starts pigging out on everything in
see,
her fridge, and it's disgusting.
It's the way they shoot that is the way it makes it, the sounds, and I'm sitting there like the second time I said the same thing I said the first. I was like, you're not helping the situation.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't like the way people are saying, one, tell them to fuck off personally, but then you're gonna go home and just like eat your feelings away. Like, that's not gonna help the situation at all either.
Yeah.
And then she goes and makes it even more extreme. After she pigs herself out and makes herself feel even more disgusting now, then she goes into the bathroom and she starts to slice away each and every ounce of fat. It is the most disgusting thing in the fucking world.
Yeah.
Cutting off her cheeks, cutting off all of it. She comes out thin as fuck,
She looks
bloody and dead
Yeah.
at this point because she's lost so much blood she dies. And it's
I remember she lived as long as she did, because she stripped everything off.
Like, she was pretty much some muscle, but mostly bone. It was perfect hourglass figure at the back end of it, though. I mean, it was.
She made it.
She made it.
She made it to what she wanted to be.
And then she
Or
died.
what everybody else wanted her to be.
You didn't notice that? What are you doing?
No, what do you mean I didn't notice
I
that?
don't know what the hell's happening.
I understand that. Like, I was joking.
Okay.
It's like, she's perfect now. Too
Yeah.
bad she's dead.
Too bad she's dead.
To thine own self be true.
Confusion. Okay. Why? This is a true Uncle Tommy's story.
Oh,
I
yeah.
really think-
I forgot about that one.
I really think
Ew.
that they legitimately found a creepy ass old man and said, "You're gonna be in this."
Do you want to play a pedophile?
This is
Really fucked up
a
pedophile?
really. It's called Young Buck, and this kid, who I believe it looks like it's his grandson. Maybe.
He has to be somehow related to him or something because he goes hunting
Most of the
with him.
time, things like this, some people are
Yeah,
related.
in the family, yeah.
Somewhere in there, but or it'd be like twice removed or whatever.
This is great Uncle Tommy. This is like Uncle Tommy's father. Because he's too old to be Uncle Tommy.
I'm just saying it's an Uncle Tommy situation.
Yeah.
Like, truly, I don't know if Uncle Tommy would get so far as to lick benches of sweat.
Yeah, that's one of the things where it's like, you know, at this point I've made some shorts and stuff like that. I've never worked with actors though, like actual actors. I've never brought in actors. But that would be one of the cases where if I'm the guy directing or writing this, and I'm bringing in actors to do this stuff, I would feel really weird asking them to do stuff like that. It's like, okay, in the script here it calls for you to
Would you actually make something like this?
No, I don't, like...
Then you wouldn't have to ask
But
them
I'm
to
just
do this.
saying, like...
In the concept?
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever be confident in my writing or directing, like, to say, like, yeah, just do this, it makes sense. Like, I would think all actors would be like, what the fuck is this? As opposed to, yeah, I'll lick that bench of child sweat.
I don't know.
Really weird.
But, I mean, like...
He gets his comeuppance.
Yeah, he loses his eyeballs in his head.
Yeah. By a weird deer thing.
That deer
Good.
head that he puts back on his head. The little boy. So, the little boy got his revenge in the end, obviously, but it's just the way this guy is just... He
Boys
looked...
running around,
The
sweating.
thing, have you seen... You haven't seen the original Hills Have Eyes, have you?
No.
Damn. I can't think of anything else he's been in. But I'm sure you could flash a picture. But the guy from the Hills Have Eyes, he's got this weirdest shaped face. He's just naturally...
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
I've seen the poster.
This guy, yeah. He looked like him, just not as disfigured, maybe.
Older and more proportionate.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just, like, that's all I kept thinking about. It's like, this is like The Hills Have Eyes, just minus all the other creepy shit that happens in that movie.
Yeah.
But there was that one. I'm not a fan of that.
Fun
I was kind of like, I felt like I needed a shower after that one. It was gross.
Yeah.
The last one, I don't even know how to explain the last one. It's called Z. It's Z, but it's not called Z. I don't know. It's in another language.
Japanese.
Yeah, or Korean or whatever. I don't know which one it was. It's called Extinction. I personally have no fucking clue what it's about.
It's about America fucking everybody. I don't know.
Like, I honestly have
women
no
with
fucking...
penises and...
They got women with penises, the 3 Chinese men, or Japanese men, sorry. They are it is Japan, because they got the Japanese flag, sorry. But you have these 3 men making sushi. I can't remember what kind of sushi. Sushi. And then they get shot in the head, and the penises jizz out rice.
It just gets really weird.
And then there's some more Nazis.
Yeah, and then the symbol turns into something else.
And then it plays the national anthem. My God, I was sad. It plays the national anthem, but it doesn't turn into the American flag. It turns into the British flag, I think.
It was just really weird.
It was the weirdest fucking thing. And then the guy at the back end stands up, and then his penis is like all erect and happy, and then it spews more rice.
It was like What is? That's the printer.
Oh, Jesus Christ, it scared the crap out of me.
He was made up to be like Dr. Strangelove from
Yeah.
Dr. Strangelove, and it seemed like a weird Dr. Strangelove from Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Love the Atomic Bomb was the title of that movie. It's a really long ass title, but
anyway.
Yeah, it seemed like a statement on like American commercialism in Japan.
Well, because Japan, like one of the guys I remember, he said before I started fast forwarding through it because I didn't want to watch it again.
Yeah.
He said that Japanese products never break.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, it just seemed like it was like, Japan isn't as traditional anymore and blah 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 and stuff like that, and it's become like a product.
It was fucking weird.
Yeah.
It just didn't make any sense. Women with penises, just at that point you lose me.
Yeah.
Sorry. So that was all of them.
Hi. So that was our review of the ABCs, DEFs of
Jeez.
Jeffs.
Jeffs.
Deaths.
balls.
All the deaths. So
all my balls.
overall, what we think of it?
Honestly, when I first clicked on it, the first time, I was curious because it had a very intriguing
Concept.
Yeah. Okay.
Hardcore lightning.
That's all this is. Woo.
God was like, the concept was not intriguing.
But I mean, the box on Netflix, pretty much like the cover of that, caught my eye because it had the Grim Reaper, and I like the Grim Reaper because he looks cool. But overall, there were a few in there that made sense. There were a few in there that were just like, why the fuck did you even bother?
Yeah.
There were a few in there that were like, ew. Mainly the spider, but all the other stuff was just kind of like, I didn't need to see that.
Yeah.
But overall, it wasn't a bad movie.
Yeah.
Really.
It was a mixed bag.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I like about these short movies that they try to do is like, you always have the ones that you really remember and the ones you're like,
Yeah.
oh! Or you watch it again, you're like, oh, I get the concept a little bit better. And then you got ones where you're like, I didn't even remember that was in here. Because there was a few in there I was looking at going, you were here last time?
Yeah. It reminded me, like, well, it was, in my opinion, better than, like, VHS or VHS 2 because, like, there were more shorts. There was a lot more to like and a lot more to not like. But, like, there was a lot more to offer than in the VHSs. The VHS ones are only, like, 4 or 5 shorts. And for the most part in both of those, there's only, like, 1 or 2 good ones out of, like, the entire movie. Like I said, it's a mixed bag. There's some really strong ones that I like. And there's some really kind of ones, and there's some really like, what the hell was that ones. But I mean, that kind of, that also gives it kind of like a charm, because it's it's like this weird eclectic group of movies that you wouldn't otherwise see in one sitting.
And a lot of directors that were in the same area that you wouldn't see probably working near each other at all.
Yeah.
But,
so yeah, reviews. What's our final rating here?
Out of 10, right?
Out of 10 for ABCs of Death.
This is hard, because...
Let's rate them all individually. All 26. Let's go. Get the list.
Fuck that! I'm not doing that. That would take forever.
Overall. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah. I can't.
I'd give it... I'd give it a 7.
7?
Like, yeah, that's kind of like average. Like, I'd give it a 7 because I liked it. I mean, I think a lot of the shorts towards the end kind of got meh.
It seemed like they gave up towards the back end.
Yeah, it was starting off really strong to me with the Apocalypse one and a few of the ones towards the front, except once it got to Fart, that it just went out the window. But, I mean, there's some good ones after that. So, I think overall I'd give it a 7, a really kind of average review. Rating. Fart.
Bottom. I'd probably give it like 6.5.
6.5. Kind of lower on the spectrum.
Yeah. The thing was, there were a few stories that captured my interest.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of them that I was just looking at going, why the fuck?
Yeah.
Why?
I think there was more in there that I liked than what you liked. Like, I think I liked more of it than you did.
Probably.
Yeah, a lot of it, you were just like, what?
Well, the thing also is, my problem is that, I mean, it's a great concept to have that many in one setting. My biggest problem is the fact that it was too fucking long. It's a 2-hour movie.
2 hours, just a little over 2 hours.
And I lose interest after at least an hour because I'm like, okay, well, alright. And then they just keep going. And the first time I saw it, I was even sitting there going like, this is taking forever. We can't fast forward through it because I want to watch it and I don't want to see it again, which...
Yeah.
Lottie fucking da, I saw it again. But that's why I like the VHS ones, because they were short, but it was like an hour long worth.
Yeah.
And it had a story-ish to it to me.
Yeah.
That's why I liked
it was connected, so...
It was connected some way.
Yeah. It's more like a YouTube playlist where you just click play and it goes through a bunch of
random shit that people
The only thing that
YouTube.
linked them together was death.
That
was the only thing.
And, yeah.
Just the concept. So.
But I just, for me, it was just too fucking long.
Yeah.
Like, I have a very short attention span.
Yeah.
When it comes to certain movies, and if it's not catching my interest all that often, besides 1 or 2 or 3, maybe 4 stories, I'm bored.
Yeah.
So
that was our review of the ABCs of Death.
So, It's not a question, but this guy, I'm gonna say your name on here because I can. Red Bull King, what is that? 1991?
Yeah.
I don't have my glasses on, so I can't read.
You got it.
He said that I should watch the Halloween remakes. I have.
Because he'll know you'll laugh.
I was more disappointed than anything else because I like Rob Zombie. He's a great director.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen both of his movies, the House of Thousand Corpse and Dead Devil's Rejects.
Mm-hmm.
I love them both equally. I laugh every time I see the girl get hit by a semi. I'm a sick person, I know. I personally find it hilarious. But he killed them. He murdered them and shot them like Old Yeller. It was bad.
Yeah. I was a big fan of the Halloween movies growing up, and after a while they got really ridiculous and poopy. Like most Halloween or horror franchises.
Didn't he do that new one that just came out? It's not Halloween, but...
What?
The one we saw.
Lords of Salem? Yeah, he directed that. Okay, well, so he's probably just lost his touch in your mind then.
No, I fell asleep through most of that because of work.
That's true.
I don't remember it a lot.
It got really weird towards the end.
I'm sure it did.
I was a big fan of the Halloweens, and they got kind of poopy, but there were still some good ones I really like. The first one, and I can't remember much about the second one, maybe the second one. But I liked 4 and 5 a lot for some reason when I was a kid. It was a lot of repetitiveness.
That's all it is.
But they added some stuff towards the end of the 5th one that was like a mystery, but they never continued that story. They ended up kind of redoing it a little bit, so never got an answer to that. But it was interesting, and I was hooked when I was a kid, and I was hoping somebody would come along and do kind of like a gritty reboot remake of it and make it kind of a bit more serious and stuff like that. And I think with the first one, I liked they spent a lot more time with Michael at the beginning of the movie, and I found that pretty interesting.
They kind of build his character a little bit more as to understanding why he does what he does, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I liked that, and I honestly, a lot of it's forgettable. Like towards the end,
I don't remember a whole lot of the first one.
Yeah, I remember the parts in the mental institution and the guards picking on him, and then he kills them and.
Didn't the original guy from the first one, wasn't he in that?
Who?
The cop, detective guy. Was he not in that?
No.
Why do I think he's in that? I have no idea.
I don't know. I don't think Donald Pleasance was alive. When they made that one, I don't know.
I have no idea. All I know is
I can't remember.
I saw the first one.
Yeah.
And that's all I've seen.
Yeah.
And then I saw, it was like, oh, Rob Zombie's doing it. And the first one was like, the remake of the first thing was really good-ish.
Yeah, it was alright. Like, the remake was alright.
I liked...
Did some interesting things.
Well, yeah, because I like the concept of the fact that they talked about Michael, his mental state, and personally I'm a nerd when it comes to medical anything. So finding out why he does what he does, because he's got a mental thing that says, yeah, I love psychology, is the fact that he doesn't have it, that part in his brain that says this is bad.
Yeah.
Like,
also,
most serial killers.
He's indestructible for some reason.
Which makes sense.
I don't think they ever explained that.
No, they didn't. They're not going to, but whatever. But the psychology of him, I was more interested in.
Yeah.
The second one, I barely saw because I flipped a lot on TV. Like, oh, it's on, but it's on, but...
Did you watch it on like a...
It was on TV.
So it was like censored and stuff like that?
I don't fucking know. The thing is, that's the thing. You know how I watch TV. I flip.
Yeah.
So I flipped a lot, and I saw...
Parts of it?
Parts of it, and I saw the chick from the original first one. I can't remember her name.
Jamie Lee Curtis?
Yeah.
She's in that?
Yes.
She was in the second one?
Yes, she shows back up.
Interesting. I don't know.
That's what I thought. That's why I told you a minute ago.
Yeah.
But, like, she shows up randomly, and I was like, why is she back? And I watched it for 5 seconds. She explained it. I don't remember what she explained. And then I flipped off of it because I was really fucking bored.
Yeah.
Like, he did really well in the beginning of the first one of the remake, but then I lost it towards the back end because I don't remember shit.
Yeah.
Like,
it just turns into a bunch of killing and stuff like that.
And I think there was a cabin or a shed that some girls get killed in. I don't remember.
I can't remember. It's been a long time. I saw that in
It's a very long time, but I will never watch them again because I am not going to torment myself.
Yeah. So
you saying that I should see them? No.
Halloween 2, the second one that Zombie did, It was. I started watching it. I got about 20 minutes to half an hour in, and I really couldn't stand it because I kind of liked the beginning, but they made the main character girl just like a punk rock. Yeah, like a punk rock, like fuck the world, fuck life. Like I listen to Rob Zombie, and just all the. But it was like all the characters talked like Rob Zombie to me, and I hated that. It was just I found like watching some of the stuff with Rob Zombie that like House of a Thousand Corpses the other day. I'm finding I'm liking him less and less. Like his stuff is kind of. I don't think the dialogue's good at all, and it's kind of like what the.
I never claimed his dialogue was good.
Oh yeah, and I'm not saying like some people. Yeah, but some people like certain styles of things. It's not like it's bad or anything.
I like the way he sets everything up. I like the way he does his gore. His gore is always fantastic. His gore has never been bad to me, and that's why I like him. And the weird kind of distorted aspect. It's like his fucking mind, pretty much in my mind. Yeah. He's just a weird fucking guy. Yeah. And his music's just as bad, so.
I only know that song from The Matrix.
Okay.
Anyway.
But I mean, it's just the concept. What?
His dialogue annoys me.
No.
I don't like it. But no, I kind of agree with you with the gore thing, but
like his, I never. Captain Spaulding is the reason I watch that still, because he's fucking hilarious. Yeah. And Otis. Otis and Captain Spaulding. My two favorites.
Which one's Otis?
Blonde. Long blonde hair.
Is that the guy
Run, rabbit, run!
House of a Thousand Corpses?
He's in both.
Okay. It's the same character in both of them?
Yes.
Okay.
House of a Thousand Corpses and Dead Devil's Rejects has Baby, Otis, and Captain Spaulding. All three are the same, both movies.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just Tiny, I don't think he's in the second one. I don't remember. I haven't seen that in a while. But my biggest thing is that any of these remakes from these older movies like Nightmare on Elm Street, fucking Friday the 13th, Halloween, they remake them, but they make them twice as shitty.
Because they usually take out the element that makes them interesting. Because generally with Halloween and... Well, Halloween for the most part. Halloween and Friday the 13th and Freddy, Nightmare on Elm Street, they all have an element of humor in
there is not a...
and for
there's an element of humor in Friday the 13th? I'm sorry.
Friday the 13th, they get ridiculous. They get...
I know they get ridiculous.
Jason X and stuff like that. They get intentionally bad.
Well, I never saw that far into them. I never really watched the Friday the 13th.
The first one isn't, jokey so much.
No, the first one, but he's not doing anything. It's his mom.
Yeah, it's his mom the entire
that's
time.
why. But the thing is when they redid Nightmare on Elm Street, I already knew it was going to be bad. I looked at it and said, this is going to be crap.
But I haven't even cut you yet. It sounds like Sylvester Stallone.
One took out Robert England. Or whatever, England. Whatever you fucking say it. I don't care.
I like Jackie Earle Haley, but he was not a good Freddy.
I don't like him in that movie.
Yeah. He was the guy from Dark Shadows.
Yeah, you pointed that out. I remember that. You pointed that out when we saw it. Which we may or may not review, because I don't want to see it again.
We've watched it so many times.
It's always on!
It's always on HBO or something.
It's always on! But it's never not. But I watched it, and the problem with the new one is that it's a remake. It's a smush of every single fucking one.
Yeah, they did
into one movie, which doesn't make sense at all, because none of them connect, except for the first two. And that's it, I think. Yeah. That's about right. Because they still have... Why do I want to say Kirsty from Hellraiser? It's not Kirsty. Yeah, that's the thing that popped into my head.
Kirsty. The girl from...
Nightmare on Elm Street. I can't remember her name. I don't care.
Who cares?
I don't. But the thing is that she's in the first and the second one, so they connect a little bit on the knowledge of Freddy already. But when they redid it, they changed the story from him, I think, just being a child murderer, to now he's a child molester, and we're supposed to feel bad for him, like, fuck you, like, why would I feel bad for a child molester? And all this kind of stuff, they killed it. They just fucking ruined it. I don't know. I can't say enough bad things about it.
Welcome to my world, bitch.
Wait, what?
That was the line.
What line?
That was the line in the first one and the remake. Was when she pulls him through to the real world. welcome to my world, bitch, and then she kills him.
They say that in the Freddy vs. Jason too.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It's just like a reference to the original.
Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they redid Friday the 13th. Now Friday the 13th, I thought was hilarious as a remake.
I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen that yet?
I have it, but I haven't seen it.
I just thought it was funny because I saw it in a packed theater.
Oh, you saw it in theaters?
I thought I told you this.
I can't remember. You probably did.
It was the packed theater with like the whole row of loud people behind me.
Yeah.
And they were screaming at the screen every time Jason Yeah. And the way I like the way it started personally. I just love the way it started, but that was a good remake because it wasn't trying to remake it. It was just, here's Jason killing a bunch of horny teenagers that are doing drugs and having sex and are bound to die anyway. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
Other than that, it was fine. So it wasn't a legit remake. And then you go doing Halloween and then you kill it again. Because you actually tried. And you failed miserably for the second half of those movies. So. And he's always got his wife in them too, so that's killing.
Rob Zombie, yeah.
He's killing most of those movies because, I mean, she's not a bad actress.
No, I thought she was pretty good in Lords of Salem up to the part where it got weird. Like
that whole movie was weird.
Yeah.
But I don't remember a whole lot because I came home from work that day and I was really tired.
Yeah.
And I was just like in and out like half of it. And she kept passing out for some fucking reason. Every time they play that song, she kept
I think any woman who heard it was the idea of that.
But it was weird. Yeah. I don't know how it ended. He knows. I don't. But
it got weird. It was kind of like that last short in ABCs of Death where there was dicks and weird things and weird bull-headed people with penises and...
Oh my God.
It got really like 2001 A Space Odyssey weird. It got just really trippy and didn't make sense.
I haven't seen that movie all the way through.
2001 A Space Odyssey?
I don't choose to. It's too long.
The last 20 minutes of that movie don't make any sense, but... I only like the part with Hal, and that's it. Like the robot.
That's the only part I know of because of the 100 Scariest Movie Moments. That's the only part that's the...
That's essentially 3 movies in one. It's like 3 different movies. It's like the birth of civilization, this weird space story with a robot that's going to kill everybody, and then the new age of civilization. It's just really weird.
I just choose not to see it.
Yeah.
It's too long. My attention span is just not that good. Yeah, I know. I know. Thank you. So yeah, but I will not be seeing them. So you will not get a review on them, sorry.
For the Halloween movies?
No. I'm not seeing them again.
We should watch Halloween 3 and review it, because it has nothing to do with any of the other Halloweens. That's the one with witches and stuff.
Okay.
I haven't seen it. And
I haven't seen it.
I had never heard of it.
One.
I didn't know there was a third one that didn't have anything to do with Michael Myers.
I knew about that.
But I didn't know.
Because I was watching those things.
Yeah. So.
But, I mean...
Yeah. What are we going to review next week, Liz?
I don't know what we're going to review next week.
Well, okay.
Was it next week?
The next couple of reviews will either be... We don't know which one's which yet, I guess. But either the remake of Evil Dead or VHS and VHS 2. It's your idea.
Yeah.
So those will probably be the next couple of reviews.
Yeah.
VHS and VHS 2 will be combined, and then Evil Dead.
There was one that I really wanted to do a review on. I lost it in my head, though.
We'll figure it out and make sure we...
Because I keep, we do these, and then, halfway through I'm going, I want to do this movie, and then it goes away.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember. Oh, yeah, those other remakes.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Yeah, those remakes. You ruined those, too.
I ruined those?
No. They did. The people who made those.
Jessica Biel.
Yeah, I don't like her.
Tall Man.
God damn it, not that movie. I was so sad. It wasn't what I thought it would be.
Yeah, it wasn't supernatural or anything at all.
It's what I thought it was.
Yeah, anyway, marketing. So, that it? He's been in here for like an hour.
Oh.
Over an hour at this point, I think.
Oh no.
How long was this? You know. We don't yet.
We will know when he edits.
I know it now watching the footage of this. How long is it, me? I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, thank you for watching.
Sure.
Make sure to leave more questions outside of what's the worst movie you've seen recently.
Please, yes.
Give us different questions to answer.
Not too in depth to the point where I have to strain my brain to do it.
Yeah, because these are usually pretty long.
We do these really late.
Yeah, and they're long as it is.
Yeah.
So we go on tangents. So try to keep it basic and good, and not what's the worst movie you've seen recently.
Good basic questions, and none of those.
Yeah, no worse than best. Just say, what do you think of this? Or, I don't know. Concepts. Give us conceptual questions as opposed to, what do you think of this movie? Because we might want to review that movie. We might not want to talk about it in a question.
Well,
I don't know.
you could talk about it a little bit. But,
yeah.
I mean, like, what do you think of this movie? Why did you like this movie? You know, maybe, like...
If there was something that we talked about in a video and you want us to elaborate more on it,
like
stuff like that.
But, I mean... Specifically, what's the worst? That we've seen a lot of bad ones. I have been forced to see a lot of bad ones as well.
What?
That fucking Uncle Tommy Van movie
Creep Van
was crap! And then I forced him to watch Poltergeist.
You don't force me to watch anything.
You said you wanted to watch it.
I watched them on
I was forced to watch The Room.
The Room. Yeah.
I was forced to watch that one.
I wanted to watch it.
I know you did.
Anyway. But you don't force me to watch stuff. There isn't really anything that I don't want to watch.